My dear students, let's continue with the next topic, that is law of constant proportion. It can also be called as law of definite composition. Here, this law belongs to the law of chemical combination, in that we already have discussed that there are certain laws given for the combination of various elements and for the formation of compound. As we know that we have number of elements present in our atmosphere, so these elements combine with each other to form one compound, and this combination cannot be takes place by their own. The combination of this one should follow, and there follows some rules, and this rule is called to be as law of chemical combination. In this law of chemical combination, we will be discussing about two rules, that is law of conservation of mass, and second one is law of constant proportion. First one, law of conservation of mass, that already we have discussed, that energy can never be created, never be destroyed, it simply transforms from one form to another form. And here we can also say this one, like whenever we are taking a certain amount of reactant, same amount of product should form after the combination. It means not a single mass of any of the substance should be lost. So here we have the second law, which is called as law of constant proportion. Here this law was given by Lavoisier and other scientists. They have observed, see what are the things which is given here. First I will read it, then I will make you understand that Lavoisier and other scientists observed that many compounds were made up of two or more elements, and all such compounds contain the same element in the same proportion by mass, irrespective of how the compound was prepared or obtained. Like if we are talking about any of the compound which is like if we will be taking example of water, like here water is made up of what? Water is prepared by the combination of hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. On combining these two we will get water molecule, but don't think that if you people are going to mix hydrogen and oxygen, then you will also get water. No, it is not there, because certain conditions are also required for the formation of water, and these conditions we should give for getting this type of compound. So here only we have to talk that whenever we are talking about any type of compound, here whatever the source may be, if we are taking the water from the tap, if we will be taking water from river, from well, from our houses, of wherever, if we will be taking water, then the content of the water by mass and the ratio by mass will always be same, by mass and by volume, this will always be same. Like here it is H2O, it means that H2 means two more atoms of hydrogen combined with only one atom of oxygen, then only the formation of water molecule takes place. If we will be changing the number of hydrogen and oxygen, like if we take three hydrogen element, and if we will be taking two oxygen, then whatever the product is formed, this product will have the totally different property from the other one. Okay, means from water molecule. Why? Because we know that in the previous chapter we have discussed that compound, it should have the definite ratio. Whenever the compound is formed, the ratio should be fixed. That means whenever we are talking about the water, the ratio should be like 2 is to 1, means 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen should combine. Okay, by weight here we are talking. But if we are talking about the mass of this one, because all the element has their own mass. Okay, so here the mass of hydrogen is what? Mass of hydrogen is 1, but because we are taking 2 hydrogen, so that's why it will be 2. Okay, and mass of oxygen is 16, and we are taking only 1 oxygen. That's why here when we are solving this, then we will get the ratio, that is 1 is to 8. That I will show you in one example also. one numerical is given, in that it will be more clear, because verbally it would be little difficult to understood this one. So don't worry, I will make it clear with the help of numerical also. Okay, so here I just wanted to tell you that law of constant proportion means whenever any compound is formed by the combination of any of the element, the ratio of these elements should be fixed for the formation of a particular type of compound. It means if water is formed, the ratio should be 2 is to 1. If carbon dioxide is formed, then the ratio should be 1 is to 2. Okay, it means the ratio should always be fixed, always be constant. That is called to be as law of constant proportion. Here we can define this one as, in a chemical substance the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. Okay, see here we have few of the numerical on the basis of this law of constant proportion. First, I will read this question. A sample of pure calcium carbonate was found to contain 40% of calcium, 12% of carbon, and 48% of oxygen. If the law of constant composition is true, calculate the weight of calcium, carbon, and oxygen present in 2 gram of another sample of calcium carbonate. Here we have given calcium carbonate, and calcium carbonate, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? That is calcium Ca for calcium, and for carbonate we have CO3. Okay, it means Ca, and because we have carbonate, the valency of carbonate is 2, that's why it would be Ca2CO3. What you have to take out here, see, because the weight of the various element in the second sample of calcium carbonate are calculated. Weight of calcium which is given in the question, that is 40%, it is given. It means 40% means what? 40 upon 100. And because we have 2 calcium, and here it is given in what? It is given in this much of amount, that's why we will be multiplying it with 2, then we will get 0.8. Again here we have weight of carbon. Weight of carbon is also given, that is 12 percentage of carbon is present. See in the question it is given, it is 12, so 12 upon 100 into 2, again we will be having 0.24. Again weight of oxygen, that is 48 percentage is given, that is 48 upon 100 into 2, that would be 0.96 gram. Like that you have to calculate, because students numerical will also be asked in your exam. So like that you have to calculate, because the numericals are very simple. Simply whatever the thing is asked, because it is given in the percentage, and you have to convert it into the gram. Okay, so this will be very easy numerical. Here we have one more numerical. With the help of this one it would be clear. Like see here what is given in the question, hydrogen and oxygen combine in the ratio of 1 is to 8 by mass to form water. That already we have discussed. What mass of oxygen gas would be required to react completely with 3 gram of hydrogen gas? Okay, so here what is given in the question, it is in the question it is given that the ratio of the water molecule in which hydrogen and oxygen, here the ratio should be 1 is to 8. But according to the law which we have discussed, here what is given, that the element, or should the ratio should always be fixed, but here we are going to change the uh, means proportion of hydrogen. If one ratio we have taken for the formation of one molecule of water, so here in the question it is given that if we need to take 3 gram of hydrogen gas, then what amount of oxygen will be needed? So here if we are taking 3 gram, it means it is just 3 times more than that of the earlier one. In the earlier one we have taken 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen, but here if we will be taking 3 gram of hydrogen, then what amount of oxygen is to be needed, it is asked. Then here also you have to multiply 8 with 3 times, then it would be 24 gram. Okay, and when we are solving this one, again what we got, that 3 ones are 3 and 3 8s are 24, then the ratio is again as same like 1 is to 8. So the ratio should always be same, which proves that law of constant proportion, in which whenever any type of compound is formed, the ratio should be same. Students, if you are having any doubt in this law, then you can ask, because these two law of constant proportion, law of conservation of mass, these all things you also again you have to study in class 11. So this is the basic study that we are discussing in this class. So you people must clear all these things in this class only, otherwise you will be getting difficulty in the senior classes, because at that time you have to read these things little, means here it is given briefly only, but in that classes you have to study these all things in detail, very detail. So if the base is not clear, then you will find some difficulty. So kindly please go through the videos and try to understand all the things. If you will be having any doubt, then you can directly contact me and you can ask me. In the previous class I also told you about to learn the name of elements, their atomic number and their atomic mass. Students, these are very necessary, because if you people are not knowing the atomic number and atomic mass of elements, then it would be very difficult to solve all the numericals. So please, from hydrogen to calcium, it is necessary for the class 11th, sorry, for class 9th to learn about 20 elements. Okay, it start with hydrogen. After that we will be having helium, then lithium, then beryllium, then boron, then carbon, then nitrogen, and then oxygen, then we have fluorine, then we have helium, sorry, neon, and then for 11 we have sodium, then magnesium, then aluminium, then silicon, then phosphorus, and then sulfur, then chlorine, and then for 18 we have argon, for 19 we have potassium, and then calcium. These all 20 elements you people must learn, please students, because with the help of this one only we are going to read all the next chapter that we have to study. These are the basic of chemistry. Okay, so with that I'm finishing this class today. Thank you for hearing me.